Hello, and welcome to day 6 of 12 Days of Bizmas. Today you are joined by me, Felly Day, your host, and maybe, possibly, I won't know until I listen after to the episode and edit it, but my cat is on my lap, so you might hear Kufu purring into the microphone. And if you're looking at the video, here's his face. Isn't he a cutie? He's got such bad resting bitch days, but I can't blame him because I have it too. Anyways, today I want to talk about a really important topic and something that I'm still fleshing out as a signature talk for myself. And that is what I call the what now wall. So I did an episode 87. I'm going to link it in the show notes if you want to go listen. But I did an episode on the Fempreneurs True Confessions podcast. And we talked about shame in business and how shame shows up in business. And basically my journey with shame and realizing how much shame was holding me back in business. But so what I call the what now wall is this wall that I hit end of 2020 when I achieved my why. I'm sure all of you have heard people talk about your why, start with why, find your why, you need a strong why. The reason that you run your business, the reason why you keep going when shit gets hard, right? That's your why. And so my why when I started my business was to get out of Canada. I didn't want to experience winter. I didn't want to live somewhere that I didn't like. I wanted to live in perpetual sun year round and not have to fly back to my country because I needed an income. Because that's kind of the cycle I had been on. I did 3 months in Europe and then I came back because I needed to work. I went to Australia on a visa and then I came back because I needed to work, and visas are complicated. I had all these plans of what I wanted to do. I wanted to go back to Europe. I was looking at the working holiday for Belgium or go to Colombia. I wanted to backpack Central America. I wanted to do my second year in Australia. I wanted to go to New Zealand and rent a van and drive around the island. I had so many things I wanted to do. And the problem with it all was income, because as much as I could go and travel on a budget and stay in hostels and backpack and couch surf and whatever, no problem with any of that. It's that money is not infinite. You will run out eventually. And depending on the countries you're in, it goes less far, right? Like Australia, I think I spent my savings in 1 month before I had to work. Asia, I lasted 3 months and could have kept going if I didn't have a wedding to go back to, right? So it's it really depends where you are, what you're doing, how far you can last. And I knew that I didn't want to have to keep coming back after 3 months, 6 months, a year to Canada to have to work, to find a job that I actually hated because I had used all my money traveling. And so June 2020, pandemic full strength. It's going, borders are closed. I'm living in a beach town in Mexico, living my best life. No closures, no mask enforcement, no vaccine enforcement. I don't even know if the vaccine existed at that point. But I got to go to the beach every day, got to work with cool clients every day, and my life just seemed so cool. But I also realized I had quote unquote made it. And I didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know what to do now that I'd made it. It was kind of okay, well, I have clients. I'm making consistent $5,000 a month. It's way more than I need to live in Mexico. I'm comfortable. What now? And it took me a long time because I didn't want to sit down and face I no longer had a why. And it was okay, well, my why is to just keep living like this. But that's not a strong enough why. That's not a good enough reason to just stay in this random country and keep doing what I'm doing, keep trucking along. It's okay, maintain isn't a why. Maintain is a phase. I needed something stronger to keep going. And it took me months and then eventually therapy before I could sit down and face it and be okay, what am I working towards? And obviously, if you know a little bit about my story, end of 2021, I broke up with the Frenchman, got back together with the Frenchman after New Year's. And basically like a week after we got together, we got basically a week after we got back together, we had a conversation about the future. And he was just like, I have like no doubts, like I'm gonna marry you kind of thing. And I was like, I kind of thought this relationship was going nowhere. And it like hit me that I was like, okay, like this is my new why. I'm working towards my future, which is going to be married with children, hopefully living somewhere hot. But also, I want to be able to fly me and my family back to either France or Canada to see our families and not have to worry about buying a house in a foreign country because we can't get loans and we can't do all the things that you can normally do in your home country because I don't want to live in either France or Canada. So I found that why, but it literally took me working through shame, working through my trust issues, working through my relationship problems with my family, with my romantic partner, with friends, before I was able to like face and discover my new why. And so I know that someone listening to this is in their what now phase. You have achieved what you want, your business is doing well, or your business is hanging on, maybe, and you don't know what's next. And you're hitting and you're faced with what now? Do I keep pushing? Do I keep hoping for a miracle? Do I keep waiting for a windfall? Do I go and get the job that I hate? Do I have that difficult conversation with my family, with my partner, with whoever, to be able to keep holding on, whether it's like moving back home or asking them to take on more of the bills or whatever, right? We all reach a what now phase at some point. And whether you need therapy or a coach and whether you need to talk to a therapist like me or maybe a life coach, I want you to know that there is no room for shame in business. It will only hold you back. You can't just keep stuffing that shame down like I did for a year and a half. You have to face it head on. So this is a completely different vein than my last episode, than day 5 of 12 Days of Bizmas. But we gotta be real and transparent, and you know that's what you're coming to the Unprofessional Entrepreneur for. So I hope this chat helped you. I hope if you are facing this phase or you've come out of that phase that you can recognize it for what it was, which was a huge milestone in your life and business. And like, congratulate yourself. Congratulate yourself for getting through that hard time. Or if you're in the middle of that hard time, remind yourself that it doesn't last. You will come out the other side of this. Who knows what it'll look like? I cannot control the future. Neither can you. We just got to control what we can control and like ride the waves. But yeah, I'm going to love you and leave you there. I will catch you all tomorrow with day 7 of 12 Days of Bizmas. Ooh, what are we going to talk about? I'm thinking let's talk follow up because that was a big part of my 2024 year. And I know that the episode about hard sales and soft sale tasks from the show did pretty well. So that's going to be tomorrow's episode. Don't be shy and tune in. And I'm going to love you and leave you there. I'll catch you all tomorrow on another episode of The Unprofessional Entrepreneur. And as always, don't forget to stay unprofessional.